welcome back to another edition of the John Wayne Surge Protector Podcast, the 6040 production. I'm Eric Halsey.
I'm Alex Midway, and we missed you guys on Thursday, but that's only because we are part of an exploratory committee to go ahead and buy Argentina, because their currency is currently worth less than Roblox.
Yeah, if there was ever a country that could have used that World Cup influx of cash, but unfortunately, you kind of get what you pay for, and since we paid for it, I don't know where that money went.
I keep seeing all the conspiracy theories and everything else. Apparently, Argentina, the way, even when they were doing the groupings, completely shady. When the path to be World Cup was one of the easiest ones. The amount of the lack of red cards they got was insane. And after the World Cup was done, the fact that the fireworks were an Argentinian blue color, I was like, what the F's going on? I was like, you guys literally planned this.
Well, we know for sure that our fearless leader did not want it to be Spain, who has told the United States, and Trump specifically, to sit and spin over and over and over. So, to the winner goes the spoils. Congratulations, Spain.
I do he's always trying to insert himself in a play. He's like, I need statues of myself. He's like, I'm going to stand here dude, come on, get off the stage. It's the team's time to shine. He's like, no, I'm just going to stand here and clap with you guys. I'm the 12th man.
Yeah, I was at my soon-to-be wife's parents' house, and as soon as they started up, I immediately declared, I'm like, this effer is definitely not going to keep moving. He is 100% going to put himself in this picture, and know your enemy, buddy.
I mean, glass half full and such. At least he did not fall asleep, so he stayed awake for the whole thing. Probably because Infantino kept telling him how great of a person he is and how awesome everything is.
Well, he could not tell him, please keep moving, because our president pulled his arm back and went, no, I'm good where I'm at. And kudos to Spain for cropping that orange slob out of their victory picture.
They did not crop him. It was just a different shot. So all the stuff about AI cropping, they didn't crop him out. They just used one after they finally got Grandpa to get off the stage.
And here comes Alex, ruin a perfectly good story with stupid facts.
We operate differently from Fox here. But what's it called? Trump did come out. He's like, we need another World Cup right away while I'm in office. Well, first of all, he's not leaving office. So 2038, we can still have one with him here. But he's like, we need a cup. And what do you think the chances are that Infantino comes out with a Freedom Cup and it's here next year?
There's definitely going to be some sort of hey, here's a soccer thing nobody's really going to care about. I'm telling you. I think you're 100% right.
He's just going to force all the top players to play. And he's like, the U.S. team has to win, boys. Do not play that hard. It's the matches have been set.
Yeah, I can only assume this comes from Linda McMahon, who's just been around pro wrestling her entire life, and that's where we're getting these ideas.
Be surprised if it's the old man. The old man just likes a grand spectacle. The fact that this is the first time that the host nation's anthem was played, even though they're not in the game. How he likes inserting himself into everything. And I don't know, if he had any kind of sanity, he would remember all the boos he received. But I'm sure he'll be back at the next sporting event, just trying to put himself in there too.
No, that entire crowd was clearly booing Joe Biden. Sleepy Joe is what they call him. They go, Sleepy Joe.
What's the Simpsons episode? He's like, Smithers, are they booing me? He's like, no, sir, they're saying boo earns.
Yeah. That was exactly what I was thinking.
So, all right, we miss you guys, but we're here to get back into it. So let's kick it off with Who Said It. The estimate where we have as of today is $37.5 billion.
That has to be Trump talking about the reflecting pool?
It is not, because he would just tell you that it's the best job on the planet. This is Pete Hegseth coming out with the tin cup rattling to Congress asking for more money. And a lot of people think it's slightly more than 37.5. Moody's Analytics has estimated the domestic cost of a war to be up to about $150 billion.
Oh, chump change. $150 billion is a S-ton of money, seeing as how the 1% that has the same amount as the 90% of us are definitely not going to pay for it. Mm-hmm. So it's all coming from us. But, can you put a price on freedom? And evidently Hegseth told us you can.
Yeah. It's $8 billion higher than the previous figure that they released back in May. But I don't know, man. I guess we're gonna keep paying for this war that's over, and we already crushed Iran. But somehow the numbers keep going up. We lost another 2 service members, but cheaper oil and stuff.
Yeah, no, it's definitely cheaper when I paid $4 a gallon earlier this week. So, God bless the USA and whatnot.
Well, if you need to make a couple dollars, you can always short Tesla stock, as it went from 396 to 378. But just like I called it beforehand, a chief investment officer at Psy Capital, Christopher Psy, said, if you look at SpaceX and say it's selling at a crazy multiple, you might be making the classic error that these companies are increasingly investing so much right now, depressing earning now to create more value later. So don't look at the numbers. Just let me know how it makes you feel. And that's how the stock market works.
You can't put a dollar amount on potential. At 378, we need you to buy more, is what they are saying. And again, stock market is a hoax. It is fake.
So it is technically not always fake. I mean, we have Christopher Psy over here talking, but we also have another development in SpaceX. It went from 136 to 123, so keeping with that trajectory. And honestly, I don't know how you can keep saying, oh my God, Tesla stock's going to go up if they merge with SpaceX. SpaceX is moving in the opposite direction as its rockets. It keeps going down and down. But Elon Musk came out and put out a tweet because he had to counteract the whole thing about one of his SpaceX launches being scrubbed. And he said, I said SpaceX will be worth more than Earth if we achieve our goals. Obviously true. And obviously, he's a genius because it went as high as 129 off of that tweet.
I cannot say this enough times. It's fake. All of it's fake. It's impossible. This isn't how money works. At some point, common sense is going to have to turn its head. And I'm guessing that's whenever, somebody dies and we get some real leaders and whatnot.
I mean, it's technically common sense is kicking in now. If you remember, I think SpaceX launched at either $1.50 or $1.75, and it's now at 123 and continuing trajectory down. But a tweet by Elon Musk be like, oh boy, he's on it. It's well, he also get into context what he said. He's like, SpaceX will be worth more than the Earth. That's not realistic.
That sounds like something I would say in the middle of a K-hole when you asked me if I needed a glass of water, and I was like, I'm more expensive than Earth. And it's the Trump versus a homeless guy on the subway thing. Where it's take the suit off of him and he's just a crazy person you're trying to avoid. Somehow the longest red tie on earth makes what he's saying 5D chess. Nobody's saying that to the crazy homeless guy.
If Biden tweeted and each one of his tweets ended with, thank you for your attention to this matter, President Joseph R. Biden, Republicans would have a field day. But no one is mentioning that Grandpa signs off on an account that's his by putting his name at the end of every one of his tweets.
Do you think when the day finally comes and you know exactly what we're talking about, thank you for your attention to this matter is going to be the number one hashtag? Because I might get the tattoo.
If David, a brewery in Minnesota, hands out free beers.
Yeah, precisely.
So, until that day happens, let's do a little honey badger stand or beaver stand update. And what's it called? Some of the stuff's a little bit old, but it still has something to do with it. Because when we were going to broadcast on Thursday, there was a little bit of upheaval in Ukraine as Zelensky dismissed Defense Minister Mikhailo Fedorov. Fedorov and the commander-in-chief, Alexander Syrsky, they weren't seeing eye to eye. They were having a little bit of a back and forth match, and Fedorov came out and says, hey man, I can't work underneath this guy. So Zelensky's like, well, I got nothing to do, but I gotta let you walk. And then a bunch of protesters came out in Kyiv, and so anyone who's saying this is a fascist regime and Zelensky's in there running with an iron fist, keep in mind that they still have actual protests in a combat zone. People are still able to assemble. And unlike in Russia, where they're tossing grandmothers into paddy wagons for just holding a sign, these people, they assembled, they made their speech, their voice heard, and there'll be an update on that one.
Yeah, kind of a wild, idea of like, let's have a giant protest while Russia is still aiming for citizens. But I guess if you feel that strongly about it, man, maybe Zelensky needs to think about it.
Yeah, I mean, that should tell you something. Like, when these people is, you know what, F it. Like, I don't think I like the direction my country's headed in, so I'm going to go and gather in a giant circle with other people and start complaining in a place that regularly gets drone attacked. Like, that should tell you that people have a very strong voice, and it has reason. Fedorov was actually seen as a guy who modernized Ukrainian military. He's been active in all this since 2022, where he set up an IT volunteer army to do cyber attacks. He's also the guy who did the drone marketplace that had like a point system. So drone operators, they would give out credits for, let's say, a tank would be worth this much. Let's say a infantry person is worth this much. And they could shift the focus of drone operators based on the actual overall missions and give out points more for certain things that they want to destroy. Fedorov also talked to Elon to turn off the Russian Starlinks in Ukraine, and then he also stepped up the attacks on Crimea. So he has been an effective guy, except he's extremely young. So that was the thing that was going for him, but his workplace record is ideal.
Yeah, I don't I have a bad feeling that whole credit system is it seems like that's something that would be against, the international like war crimes kind of thing. But I don't know. It just seems like targeting specifically, just seems that way. But if it's not, awesome. Treat it like it's Grand Theft Auto, and the more hookers you beat up, the more money you get.
I mean, it'd be one thing if his marketplace was like a grandma's worth this much, a young child playing basketball is worth this much. They're going after military targets. Like, when you invade a place, let's say you want to take down the anti-aircraft stuff, so you want to incentivize things. God, in America, we incentivize like homeowners by giving out first-time homeowner tax credits. In Ukraine, like, we ain't buying houses right now in the middle of a war, so go out there and destroy a couple tanks. Like, we'll give you a couple points, and then you can buy more stuff in there.
So it's kind of like, you guys keep working hard, and we'll eventually get that pizza party if you guys have enough credits.
It's not a pizza party. Like, that marketplace, I saw like a small video on it, and it's like, when you get points, you can get like a better drone. You can get a more explosive warhead. It's essentially the Call of Duty upgrade marketplace.
Ooh,
like,
never
you
mind.
get
I'm back
points,
in on
like
this.
You get a suppressor, you get night vision, you get all kinds of stuff. Like, it's not a pizza party. It's all kinds of weapons, like, to get more kills.
All right, never mind. I'm back in on this. Also, they just relaunched the first Call of Duty Black Ops, and so could not have had a more perfect analogy for me, big guy.
Perfect. I've yet to play any of it, but that's from what I heard, and that's the resemblances that they said.
That's the best. You'll love it.
I can't go online, just get smoked by some kid, get called an N-bomb, and he's too young to understand, and like the world's going to beat him down later on. I don't have 17 hours a day to train.
Yeah, no. You just gotta mute everybody and just play your little heart out the way I do. Yeah, I'm not coming home for a long shift here where I'm at now, driving an hour to commute, and then being called F slur by a 12-year-old. It's not happening. I can't do that to myself anymore.
There's something even extra demeaning when you're called a racial slur and the voice cracks in the middle of it. Like, you are, like, oh, come on, man. I was like, you're not even a grown man calling me those things.
Yeah, that's because those children have obviously never accidentally slipped up in public and gotten their comeuppance. So hope it happens to every one of you.
Yeah, it's the world will beat you down sooner or later. But going back to it, Sersky, the guy who's commander-in-chief, he's kind of a part of the old guard, and he was in charge of the ground forces from 2019 to 2024 before becoming CIC. I get it. He's there. He's the one who essentially repelled the attack on Kyiv. And one of the things that he said is like, I'm proud that thanks to the Kyiv defensive operation of 2022, we managed to defend our capital. And now that the city can host briefings, shape visions, and make decisions. That's a huge deal. The fact that Russia was unable to breach into Kyiv, a way place they were going to, like, that's something to hang your hat on. But at this point, it's kind of a stalemate and everything else like that. So keeping him in place didn't make much sense. So the update on this one is the fact that Fedorov came back. Syrsky's been replaced by Mikhailo Drapati. And he's the ground forces commander from 24 to 25. So he did have a whole overhaul. Again, the people spoke. Zelensky listened. He adjusted. And things changed. Like, you can't tell me that's textbook fascism.
Yeah, no, clearly he's a Nazi, despite his his Jewishness and, listening to his people. Clearly fascist Nazis.
It's the wildest thing anytime I hear that argument, like, they have a Jewish president. He's like, yeah, but that's just a front. I'm like, nothing I say is going to change your mind. It's like, no, I'm a genius.
Yep. That is how the internet works these days.
Yeah, so, to mark the return of Fedorov, Ukraine went ahead and struck a wild berries warehouse. And in case you don't know about wild berries, have you ever heard about this little website?
I have not.
As someone who doesn't live in Russia, it's not surprising, but if you did live in Russia, it's essentially the Walmart, Amazon, and eBay all in one. It is the largest actual online retailer out there, and they went out and hit two warehouses, one right outside of Moscow and another one in the Tambov Oblast. And they went ahead and took them out. They're all burning. And the wildest thing is about wild berries is about a week or two ago, they updated the terms of service. And kind of like on Amazon, where you can have private sellers selling, you can have, eBay same thing. They're like, hey, man, if you store your stuff at our warehouse and something happens to it, it's like, you're SOL. And sure enough, a lot of Russian posts are like, I've lost everything. This war sucks.
Well, it sounds like we're not the only ones here doing insider trading with that kind of information, but you know what? Don't care. Eat it, Russia.
Mean, Wildberries looked around me like, these guys are just striking St. Petersburg. They're hitting up Moscow. And Wildberries, like I said, it's Amazon, eBay, and all that other stuff. But if you look on it, Wildberries also sold some military level S. Like, they had drones with fiber optic cable lines attached to them. Like, that's not a drone you fly for fun with your kids. They had like full on like military spec body armor. So if the Russian military doesn't provide, you can buy little Boris his own sappy plates and send it to the front line. So it's not like Ukraine just knocking out the Amazon A to Z store that sells like supplements. This was a legit thing that had military uses. So it's a big deal.
You can almost hear Jeff Bezos' butthole clenching right now.
Yeah, he's like, oh boy. He's like, I should probably stop investing in those flock cameras.
Cut them all down, man. Let's make scrap metal great again.
Oh god, and all that copper inside. But the one thing that's come out is the businesses that are Wildberries and the businesses selling on its platform, they've incurred losses of more than 100 billion rubles, which comes out to 1.3 billion freedom units. But this is just because of the actual fires down there in the two warehouses that were just hit. And take a look at the ROIs that a set of drones brings back to you when you torch a warehouse that's $1.3 billion in damages. Like, how fast Russian tchotchkes burn is just amazing.
Yeah, no, we learned that lesson when our guy set that Scott's toilet paper warehouse on fire. Who would have known $500 million in toilet paper could make such a bright flame?
Like, how do you have a warehouse full of nothing but paper but don't have suppression systems in there?
Yeah, I wonder if data centers have those.
Yeah. I mean, data centers I would imagine do, because it's a lot more, but you literally have a warehouse full of kindling. Like, you should have a little bit better, like, water system in there. But again, they probably got all their money back from insurance anyway, so they could care less.
Yeah, and they'll just reflect when all of our insurances go up.
We also jacked up the price of toilet paper to do supply chain issues. Like, what supply chain issues? You didn't pay your guy, you got pissed off, and he burned down your warehouse. Like, something COVID, whatever. You're paying $19 a roll.
Yep, sounds about right.
So, one thing, it's we're also doing some things kind of like the military, and we're reshaping ours just like Ukraine is going through some changes. We got rid of all those trannies and any one of the gays. They're out, and we're going after anybody who's a soy boy. And we try to get rid of vaccines, but especially for the flu. But that's gonna have to go back to the drawing board on that one after Joe Biden poisoned the Air Force. And as part of all of our medical freedoms, we're also instituting screenings as HECSF orders mandatory testosterone screening, optional TRT for troops 30 years and older.
So Joe Rogan is like second in command of our military, how I'm reading this.
Yeah, the guy who owns a Rip It and Monster also is first in command.
Yeah, like our servicemen are going to open their little MREs, and it's just going to be a packet of horny goat weed and like Alpha Brain.
They used to hand out a pack of Lucky Strikes back in the day. Like, how far away are we from just 20 little syringes of TRT and a pack of Lucky Strikes in every MRE. Or, you know what? Modernize it. Zyn.
Well, one, big Zen guy over here. The more I'm thinking about this, if Hegseth really wants to man up, why not go back to Lucky Strikes?
Mm-hmm.
Like, let's make unfiltered cigarettes great again. We want real men. We're raising warriors. Yeah, let's do it. If your warriors, if your warriors need TRT, yeah, they're old or they've already been on steroids, or they're the soy boys just pretending, like somebody else listening to us right now, Pete.
Technically, it's a problem that affects about 1% of the military, so it's not exactly something that needed addressing. Kind of like, I don't know, trannies in sports, but whatever. We're tackling the hard issues here. But again, testosterone is gender affirming care, correct?
Yes, it is. It's kind of like your Turkish hair replacements and Botox.
Yeah, and the fact that Pete had the wildest thing to say about it is like, this initiative, it's not about artificial enhancement. And if you're putting something in your body that isn't there right now, that's artificial enhancement. Like, you can use the argument like, oh, well, it's naturally there. It's like, well, if I have bones in my body and I break my hip and I get a replacement hip, but I had a hip beforehand, like, that's an artificial, like, enhancement. Like, just because you have TRT, like, testosterone in your system, adding more is an artificial enhancement. Like, let's not try to dress up this turd.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Cough syrup is an artificial enhancement. When you have a little sore throat, it's something that your body is supposed to produce, and it no longer does. Well, buddy boy, that's kind of what it is. Just like TRT, it is enhancement. It's not our fault you've become obsessed with this because you can't get boners anymore.
Do you think it's him just doing it? He's like, I need to write off this stuff somehow in his because when he saw all the pictures of him lifting weights and trying to do pull-ups, he's like, I might need some testosterone in my life.
I think the guy who supposedly benched 315 and had a whole locker room full of Marines cheering for him, who then failed miserably, benching 135 like a month later. I think, and I could be wrong, but like, I don't remember like all of our great warriors spending our tax dollars putting makeup counters at the Pentagon. I think he's super gay, and that's why he's obsessed with having like, we need these guys on TRT and buff, no more uggos.
We all need to be ripped. And Pete did continue on, and some of his stuff's just hilarious. He's like, the modern battlefield is brutal and unrelenting. It requires and demands maximum physical and mental readiness. And by addressing these health markers early, we are keeping you on the leading edge of lethality. And again, just like you mentioned, the guy installed a makeup booth. And the fact that he's now telling me about what the modern battlefield and the toll it extracts, I find that hilarious. And I would literally listen to Jim Mattis talk about a cafeteria menu on a base in Guam while I sit on burning coals before I attend a PowerPoint where Hegseth tells me what it takes to be a man.
Yeah, every time Hegseth talks, it feels like that really uncomfortable speech we had to listen to where Trump went on and on about Arnold Palmer's dong. It gives the same vibes here, man.
And he just keeps talking. He's like, anytime he's what's it called? He showed up at Annapolis one time. He's like, there's a lot of good-looking men in this crowd. Like, Jesus, is this why you keep coming to these places?
Hey, and you know what? If so, great. I'm happy for you. We don't shame you here. However, because you can't come to terms with it, we're not accepting that you make it hell on earth for everybody else who thinks exactly like you do, but just are brave enough to say it out loud. Maybe that's what makes you the sissy here. Tell that to the big strong guys I have following my Suburban here. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, the weirdest thing about this whole thing about the push for it, it's like, if treatment is recommended, it's entirely your choice to receive testosterone replacement therapy. Like, if this is such a big problem, I require top tier, like, lethality, and the only thing that can do it is injections in my rear end. Like, why is this not mandatory then? Like, you're doing this whole thing, it's like, we're no longer doing vaccines, but we're testing you for this. But even if you test, like, that you need it, you don't have to do it because, I don't know, laissez-faire. But you should get it because you need to be lethal. Like, none of these make any sense. And like, when I was still in, we were out there smoking Afghan smokes, drinking Rippets, and guys had no problems jacking it in like a plywood outhouse with the smell of feces and diesel fuel. Like, am I at the age where, like, now I can say that the current military is soft? I can be that old man screaming at clouds?
Dude, you don't even have to really like join the military to do that. You don't have to have served. Look at who we have running the show.
What? A guy with a makeup counter is telling us everything else. He's like, also, I need another $45 billion for the budget. Like, how about you don't just start stupid wars? How about that? He's like, no, we're going to keep doing them. He's like, but I'm going to need more money. Aren't you guys requesting 1.5 trillion bucks for next year? It's like, yeah, but we need a little bit beforehand.
Guys, you have no idea how many drug boats are in Iran right now, and they are fighting back. Just, oh, man,
Going on?
every week I get a new least favorite person from this administration.
Yeah.
They're flooding the zone with who I hate the most.
A couple of new people came out to me that I definitely despise. And again, this developed since I actually wrote it. But last week, it was a big thing. They were trying to pass the Take Care of America's Veterans Act. And every time they do like a fancy name to it, like the nicer it is, the worse like that actual thing is. And it's CCAV. It's been announced by the Veterans of Foreign Wars, Disabled American Veterans, the Marine Corps League, and a whole bunch of other ones. And did you hear anything about the TCAV?
No, but I do know whenever it sounds like it's good, but it's coming from the Republican side, you like somewhere in the fine print, they're like, also we get to eat your puppies. Like it's something ridiculous.
Yeah, so there was a long time it took Jon Stewart to actually go on Capitol Hill and start yelling at these people to get them to pass something to give like veterans money for like sucking in like burn pits. And they're like, we love the military. He's like, as long as we can keep sending you. But the whole thing about this bill is they put one nice thing in there. It's called the Richard Starr Act, which allows veterans who served and if you got injured to then collect retirement and your disability benefits after the fact. Right now, if you retire after 20 years and get a bunch of scars to prove it, like you can only take one or the other. But at the same time, they have a section 108 that talks about compensations for tinnitus and sleep apnea. I know you know what sleep apnea is, but you know about tinnitus?
That's the Archer ringing in the ear thing, right?
Yeah, that's like when you have like a ringing in your ear, like nonstop, and it's. Do you think there's anything in the military that makes loud noises?
Yeah, all these snoring guys with sleep apnea, obviously.
That's the loudest sound I ever heard.
Yeah.
So, and it's they dressed it up nicely. They're like, oh no, it's cool. It's all the current veterans are still good. It's just we're gonna F the guys down the line. And the fact that like I don't get this anymore. The fact that you have to cut away certain benefits to pay for new ones, like I'm done listening to that. Like younger Alex would have been like, oh yeah, it makes sense. Like, we got to give up a few things and yada yada. But like nowadays, when you see like Pete Hegseth be like, I don't know, we need another $36 billion to keep bombing these people. Like, okay, what do you plan on giving up to get this $36 billion? He's like, not a single thing, dude. He's like, we're gonna just spend even more money.
Yeah,
He's
just
like,
give me more money. Yeah, we're fiscally conservative. There is no limit on the amount we can spend.
We're out there like bailing out banks, like, and they still have golden parachutes. Like, we're bombing kids. Like, we always have money to go bomb some child in a different country, but we never have money to feed a kid in school now. Like, it doesn't make any sense. And at the time when you're getting ready to put a living president on a currency, like, you're going to tell me, like, oh, we just do not have the money out there. Like, I don't want to hear it, man. You're printing new bills.
No. This is they're what they're doing to this country is they're stop payments on our car insurance, and then they're going to rear end someone, and then they're going to go, why did Joe Biden do this?
It's the craziest. And
we have all the money in the world as long as it's not going to anything liberal or that would help anybody ever.
Yeah, like oh, we got a big old Jesus cross and everything else. Like, hey man, what about your neighbors? Like, well, he's brown, so F him. Like, come on, man. Like, you can't practice the teachings of Jesus and then just hate everyone around you. You can't say you're fiscally conservative and keep giving out tax breaks to billionaires. Like, those two things do not vibe.
Exploding our deficits. Every single Republican. P.S. If you want to look at that, we've got all the history in the world now. Nothing trickles down except for the bill to us.
It's fun. It's another thing that they always do is like, we're also the most open and we don't suppress free speech, nothing else like that. But when the VFW, like one of the things that kicked this whole thing off well, one of the biggest things that actually brought attention to it, like the VFW posted a cartoon. It had like veterans out there on one side, and on the other side was the firing squad, and it was politicians. And like two guys from like the Republican side are like, we need to investigate the VFW to make sure that they're within compliance with the VA. He's like, dude, they're literally just calling you out on your BS, and you guys like launch an investigation. Like, but yet Joe Biden militarization of the actual Justice Department. Like, don't give me that.
Buddy, if you don't love free speech, don't go to the place where they sell 50-cent beers. Also, they're all a bunch of retired military badasses. Go ahead. Walk in there with your little tie and tell them to stop saying mean things. Love to bring a camera crew with you. Love to see how this works out.
I love the actual public outcry about it. And you know what? Sometimes like they keep pushing, and it is going to take pitchforks and torches, like and getting on buses and protesting. And the amount of like VFW members who showed up in DC and just started taking these people to task. Like, I love seeing that. The fact that we need to get to that point, I hate that.
Well, you know what? If you dum-dums weren't so brainwashed in your military time to where you have to vote Republican for no reason, we probably wouldn't be in this situation in the first place.
I mean, listen, all they had on those military bases was Fox News and everything else. I couldn't help myself. I'm like, Republicans love me. It's like, yeah, they love you when they send you off somewhere. And if we're going to be balancing the budget, why don't we take away some of Mitch McConnell's payment? Like 40 days now, he hasn't shown up to work, still collecting a paycheck. Like, how about we cut off his funds so he has to get wheeled in?
Well, I'm still fairly convinced he's dead, but you know what? That'll be another celebration for a different time.
There we go.
Back domestically, our fearless leader took to the airwaves last Thursday to talk about what is on every American's mind. That's right, bypassing exploding cost, fiscal solvency, war, and genocide, Big Boy decided to talk about the 2020 election some more. The world's worst loser droned on and on for roughly about 27 minutes about an election fraud and the importance of the Save America Act, which the Senate has already said will not pass, period, end of story. Did you watch any of this abortion, big guy?
I can't. I mean, the amount of time like I spent looking at things on here, I'm like, there's only so much Trump I can handle. Like today I saw him on TV and they asked him a question and he's like, yeah, Abraham Accords, everyone's signing. Was like, no, they're not. And you passed it on your first freaking term. He's like, I feel like a lot of people, he's like, it just lies. And nobody fact checked him. Was like, I can't watch his speeches.
Yeah, I'm with you 100%. There are certain times where I'm like, I can't research anything for the show right now. I need a palate cleanser.
Like I smash my balls inside of like cabinets enough, like doing it, like looking into the things for this show. Like at a certain point, like I'll turn on the TV, put it on the news. It'll be him. It'll just be sitting there, and he's like, wrong. I'm like, God, like no one calls him out on his BS. Like I can't do this. Like I got to get a palate cleanser.
Yeah, every time you send me something, to be like, did you see this yet? At 8 p.m. at night. My fiance knows because I just go, ugh, and then I have to walk away and watch like a 15-minute Stone Cold Steve Austin stunner compilation. Like I just can't do this anymore, man.
This is why I have a case on my phone. I was like, this thing's gonna get broken the first night we text each other back and forth as this flies into a wall.
Now, I know you're a big liberal dummy and refuse to let common sense overcome your bias, and better believe our human god Donald Justice Trump knows that too. I mean, a guy that has overseen 2 casinos going bankrupt and 2 failed marriages, going on 3. I think he knows a little something about interference. And by that, I mean, it's not like it can be the common denominator as the issue. So by using the scientific method, the clear offender must be China or Venezuela, right?
Well, you mentioned the 2 bankrupted casino and the 2 marriages, but you forgot to call out the elephant in the room, so to speak, because if our boy knows how to pick a winner, it's Argentina. Because, again, we said we led the show off with that their currency is currently worth less than Roblox, and we literally sent them 40 billion effing dollars of our money, like when this whole thing kicked off. Like, and if, like, how do you send $40 billion and then your currency is worth less than some video game currency?
Well, had he not sent that money, Messi might be a U.S. citizen right now. You know, we U.S. could have won this bad boy.
We spent months upon months on like Burisma, Ukraine, blah blah blah. It's like fine. Another government gave Hunter Biden $2 million. It's like we gave 40 billion to freaking Argentina and we lost all of it. Like that should be treason.
Well, I'm going to go ahead and guess in Argentina that is treason over there because Malay's got vast majority of that money.
Boy couldn't even afford a ticket to a World Cup. He's like, yeah, I'm trying not to jinx him. Like, you just can't get on a plane, big boy.
Yeah, was it? Who's possibly his brother? Was that Putin or was that the guy from Hungary?
Oh, neither one, and it's actually worse. It's Netanyahu, and it's not possible.
Yeah. We got Netanyahu's wonky cousin. We gave him $40 billion, and somehow they've got no money now.
Yeah.
It's funny. You give the homeless guy $1 and everybody yells at you about how he's not going to turn his life around, and somehow they're right. It's like that, only a bigger scale.
So, what's it called? So, it's Malay. He's in Argentina?
Yeah.
Do you know what Netanyahu's original family surname is?
Is it Malay?
Malaykowski.
Yeah, right there. It's the same. Whatever. If we lose 10 people on Earth, just 10 of them, how much more we could turn this world around?
Well, let's continue on before the drone strike gets here.
Yeah, let me get back into someone else disgusting. So here's a quote from the Orange Slob. Our elections were left vulnerable to being rigged, and the trust of all American people was lost. And you know what? I think he's right. I think there's a piece of all of us that question what our government is force-feeding us nowadays. It's just a shame the Dems completely forgot to cheat this time around, giving Republicans the House, Senate, and the White House. Can't believe we biffed that one so hard.
Well, also, if you read the whole thing, it says, our elections were left vulnerable to be rigged. Well, the 2020 election was ran during when Trump's in power. So if anyone left our elections open to be rigged, it's bad administration.
See, this that critical thinking DEI mindset of yours.
Like, the votes happen on your watch, you big idiot. He's like, every other time it's been fine. Like, yes, you mean every other president other than you. He's like, wrong. I was like, no, that's exactly what you said.
This is like pushing back at a kindergarten, like a 5-year-old pushing back at a kindergarten teacher. You're like, I don't know if I would consider that blue, and your teacher's like, domestic terrorist. I hate this place. So the White House released their smoking gun evidence, and just like when they said the park police had all the evidence of the reflecting pool vandalism, this too turned out to be a whole lot of nothing past the headlines. And just to reiterate, reporters went to park police at Trump's behest to ask for that evidence, and the park police said, huh? And this is no different. They released a ton of zip files that need to be downloaded individually, and then it's whole lot of nothing there. My favorite thing I found so far is a lady in Southfield, Missouri, whose name is redacted, so obviously she's not an Epstein victim, who said she was not registered to vote. Somebody wearing a Joe Biden t-shirt knocked on her door, asked her if she wanted to register. She said no, and then months later, she got a letter saying she was registered to vote. Boom, arrest them all. I believe if we all make a giant stink case about docket 56-Delta Echo-0, we can get this brave American to step forward, and I will bet whatever's left in my 401k, it'll end up being that damn DoorDash lady again, because she's either a paid actress or the Forrest Gump of dumb Fox News stories.
It's just her with like a Halloween mustache. He's like, hi, I've never met any of you before, but let me tell you about something that 100% did happen.
Yeah, this is so bad. Also found in this document dump was a ton of evidence that Russiagate was in fact real, specifically to drag Hunter Biden and his magical laptop into the public eye to smear mud all over the Biden name. But all of that was conveniently never mentioned by any of the legacy news broadcasts, which is hilarious considering he's just coming off winning a $1.7 million defamation lawsuit. But that's probably not worth reporting, right?
I got an idea for a TV show. It's Trump as a public defender in a murder trial. He's like, we have new evidence to release that my client was not there. And then he drops Instagram posts of his guy with the dead body with the peace sign. He's got the murder weapon. He's like, He's like, Trump, he's like, what are you doing? He's like, you released everything to convict the client. He's like, no, I didn't. It proves that the court hates me. He's like, what the F? Like, none of this makes sense. Like, I would pay to watch that.
Yeah, it's like getting a guilty verdict and then going, all 12 jurors were biased against me. Clearly Antifa. They stacked the courts. My lawyers couldn't do anything about it.
After
Yes.
I release evidence that says everything that they were talking about is true, I'm gonna say that it's all a hoax. Like, mother effer, like this is you literally telling us like this happened.
Hey, sounds like a great document dump for when President Newsom goes to try everybody.
I
State
will
charge.
give him I will give him credit because this time, unlike the Epstein files where they all walked out with those giant folders, at least we didn't spend money on that. So I guess we are fiscally conservative now.
And once again, the little guys over at Staples eat this one, I guess. My favorite part of the slurry mess of a speech was actually afterwards. First, half man, half goblin Brent Baer on Fox News covering the recap of God's speech, but had to interrupt himself roughly about every 9 seconds to reiterate these are the words of our sitting president and not necessarily reflect the views or legal statuses of Fox News. He literally had to repeat the legal mumbo jumbo that every TV personality has to do when hosting, say, Kanye West or any other psychopath. It's not great when even Fox News is preemptively maneuvering so they don't get sued. Wait for dramatic pause. Again.
Yeah, I mean they have about 800 million reasons of why not to like let that stuff get out there. And honestly, I will take Brett Baer over Jesse Waters 11 out of 10 times.
Yes, 100%. 100%. Brett Baer, while like a little prolapsed anus that grew legs, he doesn't have that punch ability that Jesse Waters does. Just seeing his face immediately makes me like, I guess we haven't gotten into a fist fight in 25 years.
Yeah, I think like Brett Baer seems like he's at least reading the tea leaves. He's like most of the people are not into this thing right now. Like Jesse Waters just leaning more into it. Like the other day it was him and Bessent, and they were looking at like currency where they're gonna put Trump's face on coins, his signature and everything. He's like, the liberals are gonna lose their mind. It's like, no, a lot of them are going to lose their homes because you keep pumping this freaking economy with no apparent reason. But yeah, sure. Own the libs, just crash the economy.
Yeah, I think that's a little bit more of a red state problem, but, we're all affected since, we're not considering each other Americans anymore. Thanks, Donnie.
I'm American.
But the best part of the stupid speech was a reporter caught John Solomon, a member of Trump's election task force, and asked him about the claims of his rotting orange. So the reporter asked, do you acknowledge that there were no vote changed in 2020? And Solomon said, all I can acknowledge is what the intelligence shows us, right? I only know the intelligence community has zero evidence that someone, a foreign power, flipped a vote in 2020, 2022, nor 2024. He then started to try to backtrack a little bit before handlers swooped in like it was the damn FBI, and we're like, he's done talking, we have a very busy meeting, and shoot him away.
I do love how they're using the word intelligence so loosely.
Yeah.
And one of the best things about usually at these speeches is like when they have the official marching orders of the morning, like, all right, this is what I'm going to say. It's a complete lie and fabrication, but this is what I'm saying. And then Trump tweets like halfway during their speech something completely different. Like, did you know that the president tweeted? It's like, I had no idea.
Yeah, just go fall right back into that Mike Johnson, like, haven't looked into it yet.
Was that taken out of context? Like, no, this is his entire tweet. It says you're an idiot. He's like, that is very different from what we discussed this morning.
Yeah, legitimately tweeted a hard R. What are you going to do?
Like, we're not taking it out of context. He's like, yeah, no, it's a whole tweet. It's just a hard R. And Ed says, he's like, maybe he was hacked. Like, well, he just tweeted again and says, I wasn't hacked. He's like, got to take a look at it in context.
But you know what? If I was anonymous, I would also probably send out a tweet going, this is my opinion. I am definitely not hacked right now. So, you just got to blur the lines and keep lying.
So I think we got enough for today. We're gonna try to do a second episode. Honestly, I mean, I'm in town. See what happens in the great state of Arizona. But last couple of times I said that we'll be back on Thursday. We completely glossed over Thursday. So see you when I see you, everybody.
And I'm Eric Halsey.
Daddy, chill.
Later, Gators.